What's the scoop? We've got some news for you now. Scooby Dooby news. What's the scoop? We've got some news for you now.
Welcome back to Scooby Dooby News. Today we're coming to you with more news regarding Georgia's odd response to the Brown v. Board of Education ruling.
For those of you who are unaware, on May 17, 1954, Oliver Brown and his lawyer, Thurgood Marshall, sued the Board of Education of Topeka, Kansas due to the schools being segregated.
Brown has emphasized his daughter's hardships, mainly focusing on how she is forced to walk a mile daily to her school for blacks, while a white school is at closer proximity.
Together, Brown and Marshall have proclaimed that the unjust act of segregation contradicts the 14th Amendment. The Supreme Court declared segregation unconstitutional and ordered that schools began integrating.
Following not long after, Georgia citizens expressed their outrage, saying they would, quote, rather close down their schools than allow them to integrate, end quote. This conflict in our state led to an order being made for the Sibley Commission.
The Sibley Commission was an idea by Governor Van Diver to examine Georgia's stance on integration in their schools.
They ended up passing the decision onto local school districts in an effort to please everyone. Wait, what's this? It's Scooby the News Dog. What do you have for us today, Scoob?
Bork, bork, bork. Bork, bork, bork. Bork?
I am Velma Wilson of the Scooby Dooby News, reporting live in front of the Pickrick Cafeteria, owned by the segregationist Lester Maddox. Maddox has been reported to chase African Americans out of his cafeteria with axe handles. He is just one of many refusing to follow the 1964 Civil Rights Act, which states there will be no segregation of public areas. It also states that everyone will have a fair opportunity at getting a job, though Maddox shows no signs of allowing integration in his cafeteria anytime soon. If this is how he treats his customers, imagine how he treats his job applicants. Good news for Atlanta, though, as it seems the Pickrick Cafeteria will be closing. We've asked Maddox for a comment on the matter, but have received no statement. Back to you, ladies.
Thank you, Velma. Well, with all this negative buzz about Maddox, he's surely never going to be governor now. Anyways, as a state, we are facing many other problems.
All over Georgia, the reactions are still very mixed when it comes to our new flag. The issue? 2/3 undeniably resemble the Confederate flag.
African Americans of Georgia are opposed to this new design for obvious reasons. Governor Roy Barnes has introduced his own design, attempting to resolve the situation.
Needless to say, citizens were infuriated. Here we have Mr. Smithers, one of the many citizens who are upset about this new design. Mr. Smithers?
Who does this Roy Barnes think he is? I have lived in this state for nearly 69 years, and I have never seen such an offense to our beautiful home. Barnes Rag has disgraced my family. It has disgraced my entire existence. This will not stand. This will not stand.
It seems our interview with Mr. Smithers has been abruptly interrupted.
As you can see, citizens are unhappy. The flag has been nicknamed the Barnes Rag due to its heinous design.
Hopefully, this ongoing flag problem will meet its end. And now, news from the malt shop, where some young college students are sitting in to promote equality.
I'm Daphne Blake at the Scooby Dooby News, on scene of yet another protest by the SNCC in favor of integration. These young students have been fighting for desegregation for months, serving to give themselves voices in our government. The nonviolent protest comes as no surprise, seeing as John Lewis is the chair of the organization. Lewis has participated in many sit-ins to protest companies that refuse service to blacks, and this is definitely reflected in the protest today. I have one young woman with me today who is participating in the sit-in. What is your name, ma'am?
I'm Madeline Dinkley. Thank you for having me.
Now let's start this off with the most obvious question. Why exactly are you protesting today? And please, look into the camera when answering.
Well, I just think that in today's society, African Americans are viewed as below us, when really we're all equal, because we're all humans, and these people around me are being wronged by the segregation that plagues this diner. It plagues the state and the country, and I refuse to stand for it.
So why protest non-violently in contrast to protesting with violence, which is awarded with more recognition?
Well, I admire Martin Luther King, and his calm demeanor in these harsh times. The way he handles protesting for something this important is honorable to me and to everyone that he inspires. Violent protests get a strong message across. That's true, but sometimes the message ostracizes them more, and they would stick out more if they took a violent approach, because while we're fighting for peace, violent protests reflect a more corrupt and destructive message.
Thank you for your ideas in the chat.
Thank you.
Bork, bork, bork. Bork, bork, bork.